Hello, and today we're going to talk about Natural Gas by Sophia Bergman, Zach Rash, Luis Morieta, and Adrian Lopez. Um, this is the overview. So if you want, you can pause this and write it down in your notes so that you have it. Basically, what we're going to talk about is the first thing is we're going to talk about what natural gas is, and basically the fact that it's a fossil fuel and how efficient it is and the environmental impacts on it. We're going to talk about how it's formed, the process of hydrocarbon, and the biogenic and thermogenic gas. We're also going to talk about which countries are the top producers and consumers of natural gas throughout the world. We're also going to talk about problems and challenges that accompany the usage of natural gas and the abundance, so like how much we're using and like how much is left, which will then lead us to fracking, which is an alternative method for obtaining natural gas, which has a lot of external costs, and which we're going to get into. And we're also going to talk about the uses, so like this flame on your kitchen stove is powered by natural gas, etc. And we're also going to talk about like future use. And so you can pause these two slides and write them down in your notes so you have everything. Basically, what natural gas is it consists of methane, also known as CH4, and varying amounts of hydrocarbon. It is a fossil fuel, and it's also considered a form of petroleum, and it's basically composed of decaying prehistoric plants and animals that we then use for natural gas. It is a non-renewable resource, and it takes thousands of years to be produced. So here we have a diagram, and so this is 3 to 4 million years ago. These are the prehistoric plants and animals, and then here we have 50 to 100 million years ago with the remains, the sand and the silt, and then here we have the extraction process where the oil and gas deposits are, where this is where we get our natural gas from.
So there are two processes in which natural gas forms. One of them is called biogenic gas, and that's in shallow gas pockets underneath the ground, and it's formed from the anaerobic decomposition of organic matter. And then the second type, which is the most common type that we extract, is thermogenic gas, which is really deep under the ground, and it forms from a lot of heat and compression. So as you can see in this diagram, you have these layers of rock, and then you have this pocket of natural gas. And so we try to drill down there and tap into that to extract it. And most of that is thermogenic gas. The 5 largest producers of natural gas are the first the United States, followed by Russia, Canada, Iran, and Norway. So the U.S. is producing the largest amount, and they're also consuming the largest amount.
And well, because of the limitation of how much natural gas is, we resorted to fracking. And fracking is when you push high pressure chemical liquids into the ground to tap into the rocks, which the rocks are cracked, which release the natural gas. Now, this is an environmental issue because the chemical water taps into the underground water and stays there. And the water itself requires a lot of energy to be transported and pushed through pumps. So this is a little diagram showing on how the water is pushed and where the natural gas is released.
Natural gas is considered a fossil fuel and also a petroleum, but it is the cleanest out of all of the fossil fuels, even though it does pollute skies. It produces both carbon dioxide and nitrogen oxide when it is burned, but it produces half of the amount of what coal emissions and 2/3 of oil. In this chart, you can see that when all these are burned, they are burned to power U.S. electric power plants. When trash is burned, it produces lots of carbon dioxide and nitrogen oxide. It produces way more than biomass and coal and oil and natural gas. But natural gas is relatively smaller compared to the rest. Uh, but the problem is that with natural gas, we need to find the compromise between efficiency and environmental impact because we need more in order to have more power. Really.